Hello and welcome to another episode of Promethean Leader. And today this episode is going to be different and very special as well, because I'm honored to have Mr. Janbaz Khan, the Consul General of Pakistan in Vancouver for Western Canada. And he has a very illustrious career in diplomacy. He has served in Turkey, Germany, India, and now he's serving in Canada.
France, Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. So if I start to list all the places he has served, I think I will have to list a lot of countries, and I think I wouldn't be able to do a good job of that. But I'm very excited to find out how Mr. Khan's career and experience can help us understand international relations, business diplomacy, and how that can help us understand the perspective of how we can do business as a startup or scale our businesses internationally. So, sir, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. I am very grateful for your kindness to allow me to speak on your forum. I always say that the future of Pakistan is with the younger generation, which is, of course, yours.
So you're putting me too high up there, and I have the honor and opportunity to actually interview. So I'm really grateful for that you took out time, and I know you have a really busy schedule. So, sir, before we get into all the questions related to startups, I want to know about your journey. How did you actually get into diplomacy, and what was your mindset, and how it has actually helped you build leadership?
It's a very simple thing. Serving the people, which means that you are servant to a people of a country, is a calling. It is a higher cause, and it comes to very few, and even fewer come up to the standard. To serve a nation, it's a singular honor which very few people can have, very few people can understand, and even fewer can implement.
So that was your calling, and you realized that at a very early age, I would assume?
Obviously, this is my 34th year in serving my country.
34th year serving Pakistan as a Consul General?
No, I started very young. I worked up the ranks from grade 17, third secretary to from a section officer level to today where I am with God's graces.
Alhamdulillah. That's a really amazing journey, 34 years of dedication. That takes a lot of courage. Okay, I'll be honest, for our younger generation, we are after 2 or 3 years working in a job, you're oh, we need a career change, we need a field change. We do that a lot.
The question is not the change, the question is your calling. Mm-hmm. When you are called to serve your people, your nation, your country, then years turn to months, months turns to days and weeks. For me, it has been an honor, a privilege, which I don't think any other service would have given me to serve my people, both home and abroad.
Oh, I totally, I don't know how to even express that kind of dedication that you have, and it is a lot for me to absorb, honestly speaking, to see that kind of dedication and that kind of determination to actually serve people. That's amazing. So, sir, if you're okay with it, let's get into some questions.
Please.
Regarding how Consul General's experience can help us understand to do international businesses.
I'll be very simple. As a Consul General, what I have learned is one critical thing is that as a majority of our Pakistani businessmen, they are not trained to do business with various regions of the world. A business is like a relation, a culture which changes from country to country. The business culture of Europe is different than the business culture of North America's. The business culture of USA is very different from the business culture of Canada. So what happens is that when a Pakistani comes to North Americas, and I am a Consul General in the North Americas, so I can only give example of it. He needs to understand as to speak the technical lingo of business which is required here. And how to do business here, understand the business rules here, what will facilitate him, how he can take advantage of this thing. So he needs to understand this, not only at the big business level, but even at a smaller level, at the SMEs level or even at the startup level, you have to understand the business lingo of the North Americas. And our people usually look at North America, majority, I'm not talking about business, again, big business, they look at it from the point of view, like, for example, Middle East.
Okay.
For example, like at maximum Europe or Southeast Asia. There is the different requirements. So lingo here is different. So that has to be understood, learned, and then used in getting yourself having an ingress within the business community or business culture or business atmosphere over here.
No, I totally agree with that, because like I have heard a lot about how different culture plays a huge role in doing business. So let's say if someone from here, a Canadian, goes to Pakistan to do the business, they're going to also have to navigate that cultural
Obviously.
differences, right?
Obviously.
They will also have to understand the culture difference. And in Pakistan, when we are doing business, we don't realize it, that how we are engaging with it, because our experience has already embedded in ourselves. So we don't realize it. It's like a separate thing that we need to learn.
Obviously.
So in Pakistan, when I was doing business, I never really thought about it, and I would like call and like it was a normal thing. But after coming here, I realized a huge difference
Exactly.
that I need to learn. So on that, like, what kind of you think a cultural shock in business Pakistanis or anyone would find coming to Canada and doing business?
In my humble opinion, the first cultural shock is they don't know how to fill in the visa forms. You fill in a wrong visa form, you will not get a visa. Then how to substantiate your visas by giving your credit history, like aapki bank statements, and these things are required.
Yeah.
You have to, the key is for any businessman to seek visas is to convince your interviewing officer as to your intention of going back to Pakistan.
Oh, I see.
If you can't convince them, they will not issue you the visa, be it Canada or USA. That's number one. Second is that there is a complete disconnect into what business is in North Americas and how to conform to that.
I see.
So these are the two main impediments for our business to have a small business. I'm not talking about big businesses. Big businesses, they have their means and ends how to go about things.
I see.
Like, for example, if I'm not wrong, there are a lot of Junaid Jamshed's store is also here. So those are big businesses. They know how to understand and play the game. It is our new businesses, the businesses who are just starting up, or the small and medium enterprises who need this training and understanding.
Yeah, because big businesses have resources that
Exactly.
they can use. They can hire people who understand the business, and they can use consultant services
Exactly.
and all that.
Exactly.
It's the new people who are trying to develop a business, start a business, or transfer their small business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like the communication here is also very different. Like you're writing an email, and then you're like how you should be communicating with the business or with the client and trying to like get them on board or like try to get the business going.
Exactly.
Right? And I have seen that people really don't understand that part very well. And that's why they're having trouble. Like, okay, you can speak English, you can write really good English, but communication is not just English.
Exactly.
It's about how you transfer or communicate the message you are sending.
Exactly.
Right? And that's where people are having a lot of trouble.
So your next question would be, what is the solution?
That's where I'm getting at.
The solution is very simple. Like any startup, the Pakistan Consulate General in Vancouver, we also started a startup small, which is known as the Pakistan-Canada Trade Association now. At one time, it was known as Pakistan Western Canada Trade Association. But now, with God's graces, it has expanded its area of responsibility to entire Canada and even targeting USA. So this Pakistan-Canada Trade Association, and by the way, it is being led by ladies.
Oh.
The president is Madam Bushra. The Secretary General is Rabia Dastagir. Noshirwani. These people are amazing. And they have got other experts with them in form of specialized people. So there are a lot of things going on there. Keeping those things in perspective. So this association was basically designed and created to establish a bridge between Pakistan, between Western Canada initially and Pakistan, Now it has transcended into between Canada, Pakistan, and USA, especially the Western Seaboard. The aim of this organization is exactly to teach our people back home how to do business. You just have to become a member of this association. Not only will they be helping you in guiding you how to do business here, they will be even guiding you and supporting you throughout your stint from bringing your business from Pakistan to Canada or USA. So this is a startup on its own.
This is amazing because now you mentioned it. Now I actually saw it that the association did a fashion show recently.
The association has not only done that, the association started with the trade expo. So there was about 45 companies then, and which have got lots of its cross section. They came here, and their full-fledged expo happened. And after that, they went into the textile expo also, the fashion textile expo, which you are talking about. And now they are taking and bringing delegations from Pakistan, focusing on mining of gold and copper. Then they are focusing on infotech. Their director, Mr. Mir, is leading that thing. And then after that, they are focusing on agro-tech as well, which are basically the principles or the areas which the government of Pakistan or the state of Pakistan is also interested in, and in which there can be a very healthy bilateral trade and commerce between Pakistan and Canada. And there is, I believe, if I'm not wrong, there is a Infotech Expo coming in 2025 by the name of Collision.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Web Summit, yes.
So, Web Summit. So, this organization is also acting on that part as well. And they are right now building up synergies between the Pakistani organizations, in which you have this Pasha and the official government organization, with the hosts who will be here in Vancouver.
So that's very amazing because, like, as you said, the organization itself started as a startup.
Oh, yes.
And now it has built to a point where, like, it's a whole full-fledged organization.
Of course.
Helping businesses understand how to actually communicate, do businesses, train them, also expand and scale them,
Yes.
right?
This organization is under the patronship of the Consul General of Pakistan in Vancouver, and overall supervision of the High Commissioner in Ottawa. So and it's also linked with the Canadian High Commission in Islamabad as well. So they are quite well linked and well connected by now. Their networking is exceptional.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I was actually talking to Mr. Meena. He was also mentioning all the great stuff that the association is putting on
Yes.
quite soon. So I'm hoping to enjoy that one too and like cover that one. Hopefully, see how that goes. Like, I'm really excited because there's a couple of expos that he mentioned, and I was like, okay, yeah, I literally did not know about this association few months back, and now I see them everywhere doing all the expos, conducting all the businesses,
Oh,
and
yes.
helping Pakistanis actually understand how to, even like from visas application to actually
yes.
doing the business
Oh,
here.
yes. They are even focusing on tourism, this religious tourism. As you know, Canada has a huge population of Sikhs, and they have all their major religious sites in Pakistan. So there are startups which are now focusing on travel agencies and tourism in Pakistan as well. And there is an offshoot of tourism, which is also the trophy hunting tourism.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of things going on by this organization.
Yeah, for the religious tourism, I actually did find out, like, I think Miss Bushra is leading.
Oh, yes, she is leading.
Yeah, I'm hoping to connect with her soon as well to understand that part. Really exciting about that. So, on this conversation about the culture expert, I do want to, like, other than, you have served in many countries, right? So, other than Canada and, let's say, USA, where else you found a culture shock in business?
Rest of for example, my first posting was Turkey. There was a cultural shock because they work totally different. European, I've served in Germany and France, so our people know how to do business in Europe. I've served in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was a place where we built up a bridge, where we took up our trade and from almost very low to a very high tangent within 2 years. So we did 2 or 3 single country exhibitions there. And those exhibitions were not restricted to only big business. They were even open to people who have got single shops in Pakistan. So they brought their stuff to Sri Lanka, they got an exposure, they sold their stuff, they made a lot of profit, they made a huge market, because in Sri Lanka you have a market from low end to high end. It's a third world country like Pakistan, and it's a developing country. And so it has this whole spectrum of market ranging from a very lower end to a very high end. So that was a complete success. We built an economic bridge between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, which was never heard of before, and we've got a lot of benefits from there.
Yeah. So in that, what kind of exports or businesses, you have already mentioned a couple of businesses that Pakistan is actually focusing on right now to export to Canada, USA, and other European countries. But in terms of startups, let's say, what kind of businesses or industry you are seeing most interested in expanding to USA and Canada?
What I've seen is basically our infotech industry.
Infotech.
Yes. The fintech or the infotech companies, they want to come towards the North Americas and Canada. There is a focus, but there is a lot of interest from here to Pakistan as well. For example, the mining and exploration companies are going there, apart from Barrick Gold. There is a company who is focusing on copper mining up north by the name of Panora.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are companies, again, from Saskatchewan province, there's a lot of lentils and canola oil going to Pakistan. And from Pakistan, we have been able to focus on sports goods, surgical goods, which are our usual stereotype trade. And
those trades we studied in school and Pakistan studies subject.
So that is happening, but right now we are focusing on infotech.
Infotech. Yeah, I think that infotech is a very high growth industry right now. And like, not just in Pakistan, I've seen it everywhere that people are focusing on fintech, infotech. AI has become a huge industry, right?
But for that point of view, you must understand the Pakistani, according to my information, and I may be wrong, the Pakistani infotech sector is focusing on services, not products.
Okay.
And it is products which sell. Services, yes, it's important. It's equally important as product, but our infotech companies are actually missing out on product. There are few products which have come out of Pakistan, but they're not substantive. So there has to be a R&D within the infotech sector. It may be governed by Pasha, organization like Pasha and everything, which should focus on products which are required in the global regionally. It should not be a general product. That, look, we have created a pen. No. This pen should have at least 5 variations according to the need of the region in which it is being used. So then you will have a viable product. That pays far more than what your services can do. Services look after your general labor issues in Pakistan.
You brought up a really interesting point, because let's say there's a startup in Pakistan, we are assuming there's a startup in Pakistan and they're trying to build a fintech or any kind of infotech product, right? And now because they mostly only have experience working in Pakistan, they will build a product that is mostly catered to Pakistanis. That's where they basically miss out on the global aspect of things. They need to first understand the needs of the region, as you said, and then they will be able to develop it. How we can facilitate that part.
Again, there is a Pakistan-Canada Trade Association. Mr. Mir is the director of this association, and he's an expert on these things. Your infotech companies, I mean, when a startup starts, it starts small, but it's funded very nicely.
Yeah.
Take a membership of this association. Ask Mr. Mir what to do. He will tell you what to do. I'm not a tech expert, so I can't comment what product is exactly required unless I'm not in that business or in that system or understand the tech needs of the global, or for example, Canada or USA. I am not an expert. But you have an expert, you have an organization. Get in touch, become a member. Become a member, ask them what is there, and then design your product. You have a standby repository of information in this organization.
So basically, anyone can join the organization.
Anyone.
Become a member. There is no fees or anything.
There is a fee.
There's a fee.
That I would suggest is on their website. And I think Ms. Bushra would be the right person to ask. While the the organization is under the patronship of this Consulate General. However, it is independent.
It's in,
The board takes the decisions. The consulate is there to give a back and support to the organization in front of the Canadian government, Canadian people, as well as Pakistani organizations.
I see.
It acts as a catalyst under the seat of the consulate so that there is some surety about it, that it's not just run-of-the-mill thing.
Yeah. So anyone can still join it.
Oh, yes.
And they can learn about all the
Oh,
businesses
yes.
and opportunities.
Obviously.
One thing that startups needs to understand in Pakistan is that you have a dream that you want to bring a business to Canada, let's say, or USA. It does not really get substantial or materialize that well if you are not building a product that caters to that market.
Number one, you need a bridge to get to there. So the bridge is there. So use this Pakistan-Canada PCTA and come in. Who's stopping you?
Yeah. So basically, take advantage of PTCA and also work with the organization to understand the needs of the people, and then try to build a product that can cater it.
Exactly. You see what happens. What I understand is, for example, you use this bridge. You understand a product. You prepare a product. You put it in the market. Now, somebody will like that product and will tell you that I like this product, but I want it like this. That is where you can do it very quickly, and then bring a product and sell it.
Yeah, the feedback and the market validation,
Exactly.
all the basic business
Exactly.
the concepts that are in play, right? So that is very interesting because now I think we can teach businesses in Pakistan how to scale.
Of course.
Like at first, I've met a lot of people myself from Pakistan talking about building businesses and bringing it to Canada and like taking advantage of the startup visa program.
There you go.
But then they are like kind of in some misconception about how to apply it and go through it.
You see, again, this organization will help you even there.
Even to the startup visas.
Obviously, everybody. Because it's business, but you have to be a member for it.
Yeah.
You become a member for it, and then they will help you by the contract which you sign with them.
Yeah.
And then what they can do is they can hold seminars for you. I mean, let's say you want to, let's say 20 members are there and they want to know X subject. They'll prepare a subject for you. Or they will get hold of even people who are already here from Pakistan to help guide you there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because like the people that are on the board of the association, I've met Mr. Mir and he has talked high. He is really a great guy himself. First of all, he connected me to a couple of great people like you.
I'm just the servant.
But you are like great servant, I would say, who has dedicated huge chunk of his life for Pakistanis and serving people. So that's amazing. Like that dedication is amazing. And then he also talked about Bushra. Ms. Bushra, I was amazed to know like the kind of things she has achieved and what she is doing. So it's like the board, I would say like people who are looking for startup, you can connect with the association, and the board is not just like any board, like it's like specialized people.
There are actually businessmen in this board. For example, there are people here who are focusing on mining and exploration in Pakistan.
Yeah.
There is a member on this board who is looking after timber exports to Pakistan. Then there will be a member in it which is actually looking after the agriculture tech and agro services also. Then there is a member on this board who is focusing on infotech technologies of startups both here and there. And then there is a member on this board who is focusing on textile exports. Yes, from Pakistan, specialized textiles for sports and everything. There's a lot of opportunity here for people here. So this is what I'm saying. This is a startup working for the startup.
That is a great service to have, startups working for the startup. You actually created something that brings a lot of value, and I think as far as this startup has grown, the association, they can help a lot of other startups to scale as well, and which is quite amazing.
Well, it falls under the definition of startup being based on innovation and scalability.
Oh yeah, that's it. You got it. Mr. Khan knows more about businesses and startup at this point than the person who is interviewing. So I'm really having fun in learning all about this. So on the other hand, you have already talked so much about like Consulate helping startups and everything. So I'm just gonna move away from that point of view and then try to get your opinion on other ways a business can scale internationally. So let's say someone who does not have access to the association like resources, how can they want to go to some other countries and scale it in maybe Europe or Asian?
What business are you talking about?
For example, let's just take a fintech market or info market.
Fintech is okay, that they have their pashas and everything, and they are quite queued up. I'll talk about a bit about other businesses.
Okay.
There is a Chamber of Commerce in Pakistan. There are associations in Pakistan which are focusing on various other businesses. However, unfortunately or fortunately, you need to think out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, those big organizations or big associations, they are working for the same end. But you need to use infotech to get yourself access to anywhere and everywhere. You have to understand the market. What is being asked? Let's say you go to Nepal.
Okay.
First, see the market. Do a research. Things nowadays are at the touch of your fingers. You just have to go to your phone and start doing your research.
Yeah.
No business, in my humble opinion, is viable until and unless it's based on a research. That research has then to be verified. The government of Pakistan has trade and investment counselors in all key countries in the world.
I see.
Like in Africa. See what is required. First, do your research. Have it verified by the trade and investment counselor that, look, this is the business I want to do.
Yeah.
What is the market there? Then they will respond to you. And then you take on from there. It's not, you see, business is like water flowing down from a mountain. You won't stop it. Even if you put a wall, it'll find a way around it.
Yeah.
Wherever the money goes, the business goes. And that can't be stopped. So research, verification. Once you have done these two things, rest is procedures.
One of the things I would say is some businesses and people and some founders who are founders are very young now, right? Just like tech founders and all the founders in Pakistan, they might feel a bit intimidated by reaching out to Consulate in Vancouver or reaching council, association that is working with the Consul General and Consulate. So it's like, how can they actually feel more comfortable?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you intimidated?
But it's fun. For
There
me,
you go.
It's fun.
This is how all the consulates of Pakistan are. You see, unless and until you do not know what to do, you will not know how to do it.
Yeah, I think there's a fear of unknown kind of thing. Right?
Exactly. So there is nothing. With God's graces, people across Pakistan who are serving in consulates or embassies are equally accessible. Question is, you have to take the step to get an access.
Yeah, the assumption part should
part should be dropped. But again, once you approach an office or a consulate, like you, for example, when you approached me to do this podcast, you send me what you need to do.
Yeah.
You did your research. You did your, and you came here.
Yeah, exactly. So I would verify this. I reached out to Mr. Meir and he was like, yeah, sir would be available to interview. And I was like, that's it. And he facilitated everything and I prepared everything. And then here we are.
You see, we must understand, if you go to the website of this consulate, my personal cell number is in the emergency number.
Really?
Yes, my personal email is there. So I am as accessible to you as anybody here, even more at 24/7. Because when you serve the people or the Pakistan, or for a matter, when you're serving the public, you're a public servant. And the servant has to be there for 24/7.
That's a really great mentality to have.
But this is a misconception that the Pakistani system is not like that. There may be, yes, we are not all angels. There are gray areas, there are people who may not be that forthcoming. But I believe, in my humble opinion, that majority of the public servants of Pakistan are very, very available and approachable, especially in our missions abroad, like our embassies and consulates. You just need to take that first initial step and you will find people very forthcoming.
Yeah, I think people, because the mindset back home, we all know about the mindset back home, right? And that shapes our approach.
Obviously.
And because of that, people feel like, oh, feel intimidated, feel like, oh, it might not yield any results, so we should not approach it. But in my opinion, as you also said, do your job. Like, don't make assumption, take a step, take an
Do
action.
your research.
Yeah.
Do your research. See what is required there. And even you'll find out, by the way, 90% of the cases you won't even need the consulate or the embassy. You will build up the bridge yourself.
Yeah. A little bit of research helps go a long way.
You see, why do you think that the Western civilization has progressed, or why, for that matter, the previous civilization, like the Arabian civilization, which we call the Muslim civilization, progresses? Because based on research and development. If you do not research, you cannot actually make a plan of action.
Yeah.
So if you aim to do business abroad while being in Pakistan, you need to do your research.
Yeah.
Rest is procedures.
Oh yeah, definitely. Research is a very important part, as you said. And any market that someone wants to go into, they need to research out what the market needs, what people need, and then
Exactly.
build a product.
That is the key of a startup.
Yeah, and
I mean, your startups are focusing on one of the concept of a startup is finding the needs.
yeah,
So if your startup does not find the need, it won't fly.
yeah, they need to be like
You have to find the need of your product. For example, there is a product required in Canada.
yeah,
Prepare yourself accordingly, and they will ask from you, and they will give you the money which you are asking for. Your own price, they will honor it because they need it.
yeah. Because if you're providing the value,
There you
why
go.
wouldn't someone buy it? Like if you're
Exactly.
actually providing the value, you can't just make assumption. And
Exactly.
it's not even about the international business. It's like you need to do research. Even like let's say I've been living here for like 9 years almost. If I'm starting a business, I will have to do my research and everything to start a business.
There you
and
go.
even someone who's born in Canada, they would have to do a research too before they start a business.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
That's a really great advice, I would say. So before we actually go into the closing, I would like to ask you if you have any advice for Pakistanis back home who are trying to build business. You have already given so many great advices, but it's a tradition that I need to ask you any advice or last piece of thought that you want to share.
I'll just share a thought,
Okay.
I think, which would encompass anything, even business or personal life or anything else. Against a determined effort, there is no obstacle.
Against a determined effort, there is no obstacle. That's a really great quote.
If you have decided to do something and you are determined to do it, you will do it. Nothing can stop it. But if you add research to it, if you prepare yourself for it before you do it, you will make a good profit on it.
Yeah, I think people like we live in an environment where it's like fast and instant gratification and fast and instant pleasure at this point, right? So everyone wants something now, right now. They wish it, they want it now.
You are about to make me into a philosopher. Patience is a virtue which should be learnt, practiced along with determination, and it is done.
It is tough. It's very tough to be patient, first of all. And so talking to a servant, public servant, who has spent 34 years of his life in this service, I can totally see that you are a very patient person. So, but you know, it's like how people are. Obstacle, even if you're determined, you feel motivated in the morning. You do something and you fail. You do something and you fail. And then people are like down in dumps, depressed, almost there to give up. And that's, I think, that mindset needs to shift as well.
Well, you need to have faith. Almost all the religions in this world always turn around and say, have faith in God. He'll get you through. Even for patience.
Even for patients, like,
Have faith in Him.
Yeah, I think we are not strong enough ourselves to be that patient. We
You
need to
don't
have
need to
faith.
have a strong. That's again a very misunderstood thing. You just need to walk towards Him. You don't have to be strong to go all the way. But then that's the philosophical part of discussion.
Yeah, I think like we will need to do another episode with Mr. Khan just on philosophy and how like philosophy of life. I think that would be an interesting episode.
It'll be my pleasure.
Yeah, it would be really, really fun to have Mr. Khan again. But like this conversation has been a very amazing for me, and I've learned a lot, and I'm grateful that you joined us on the show and let me shoot it at your office as well, not any other place.
It's not my office. It's a place by the people, for the people. I'm just a person who works here and serve the people. I'm one of the servants. Like I said, this place is not my office. This place belongs to the people of Pakistan.
So, see, I would really like to meet and have more people with your mindset, honestly.
We are more than enough, and you'll be surprised as you go along.
I'm very looking forward to meeting a couple of people that are already on the list who are working with the association. So thank you for that knowledge as well. And I'm looking forward to doing an interview with Mr. Mir and Ms. Bishra as well. But it was amazing talking to you. And I look forward to actually talking to you more about life philosophy.
Well, thank you so very much. Very kind of you. I must appreciate your kindness and your candor. I congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview.